Hello again. So now that we have our project set up, let's get our character running around. So back in our project, in the player character folder, so third person blueprints, characters, player character, where the animations component's at, I am going to right click and create an, under the animation you will find blend space. A blend space is an asset that will let us blend between multiple animations depending on the variable that we establish later on. So I want the blend space 1D because this will just establish the variable on one plane, which is just going to be the speed of the character. So I'm going to click blend space 1D, and then for the pick skeleton, we want whatever character you're using, you want that skeleton. Mine is that one. I'm going to use that one. This is our base locomotion underscore BS for blend space. I promise that's all it's for. So I'm going to double click and open it up, and you'll see right here across the bottom is this little graph. This is where the animations will go. Starting from the left is where the variable will start its measurement. Over here is where it fills or whatever. So I'm going to start with the idle animation. Then I'm going to drag out my walk animation to this first line and my running animation to the third line. And if you want to preview the blend, you can either in Unreal Engine 4 you can just click this and move it, but in Unreal Engine 5 you hold shift and it'll automatically move it. And it'll preview between the nodes. Now the only problem with this setup just like this is if your player is using a controller, like a PS4 controller, Xbox controller, whatever, if they're like halfway between, it might look kind of funky. So let's adjust all the things. So in the axis settings, this horizontal axis is exactly as it says. So for the name of it, I want it to be the speed. The maximum value, my character is only going to run 450 at max speed, so I'm going to set it to that. And for the number of grid divisions, I'm going to set it to 8. That'll give us a little bit more customization. I'm going to move the standard walk animation back to the first graph, and I'm going to put another copy of it right here so that at any point in between here, it's just playing that same animation. It's not trying to blend, so she doesn't look like she's trying to get a gallop or nothing. And then I'm going to set the running one right here. So we don't have to worry about that one, because once it's here, once she goes any faster, it'll just continue on with that same animation, not try to blend into another one. So with that done, I'm going to save. And back out here, I'm going to right click again, and then under the animation tab, I'm going to set up the animation blueprint. Now this will give us all kinds of tools to be able to blend between animation states, based on whatever the character is actually doing. So we'll create that. When this pops up, you'll find that skeleton you're using again, and I'm going to call this the player anim BP. So I'll open that up, and then you'll be greeted by the screen. So I'm going to right click and create a state machine. A state machine is basically what handles the different states of animation. So it'll handle when she's in her base locomotion state, when she's drawing her sword, or when she's in melee mode, bow and arrow mode, etc. So I'm going to open that up, and off the entry, this is basically, it'll go straight into whatever state is right here. I'm just going to call it base. So you just drag off, add state, name it, whatever you want to name it. I'm just going to call it base for me. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to drag out that base locomotion blend space that we just made, and you'll see right here is that speed variable that it'll be looking for. The way we get that is over here in the event graph. You'll see this event blueprint update animation, so it'll check whatever we hook to it and update the animation state based on it. So I'm going to add a sequence node, holding S on the keyboard and left clicking. because we're going to check a bunch of different stuff over the course of this series, and this will just make sure it's always doing it right. Then off of then 0, the very first one, I'm going to cast to the player. Cast to player BP. And I'm going to hook this try get pawn owner, or you can drag off and type try get pawn owner, whichever way you want to do it. I just like doing it like that because it's right there anyway. Oh, you can move nodes. If you highlight them and then you use the arrow keys, you can move them around. A little bit easier to organize sometimes doing it that way. Just gonna drag it way over here to make some room. Then off of the as player blueprint, I'm gonna drag off and promote it to a variable called player ref. This will come in handy later when we start getting into animation notifies, being able to cast directly to the character just with this without having to do this every time over here. So now what we want to do from the set player ref, this will be also the player reference, so we can drag off. We want to get the velocity. The velocity is basically a measure of the character's movement along a vector, so the x, y, or z vector. So off of that we want to no. That's right, we got two things we're going to need to set up. So once we get the velocity, we also want to get the rotation. Get the actor rotation. This'll look at the player blueprint and see which way it's facing in regards to this grid that exists in the world. So if you look right here, the location rotation, this works because the world exists in a grid, with the center being basically what it measures against. So this will take a look at what direction you're facing and which direction you're moving, so that it can tell later on what direction to, what you'd be moving. Oh, you can straighten wires too. Like if you have something like this, or it's just not lining up just right, you can highlight what you want to straighten, hit Q on the keyboard, and it'll straighten just like that. So I'm going to back that up a little bit. So from the get velocity, we want to measure the vector length. You want to spell it right though, not my strong suit. So the vector length is basically the float value that determines the speed at which you're moving. So this gets the velocity along the vector. This is the length of the measurement, basically. So from the calculate direction, you want to promote that to a variable called direction. That'll come in handy later on when we're setting up her combat state, because we're going to have it to where she faces forward all the time. From the vector length, you want to drag off and promote that to a variable called speed. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes they just don't line up just right, and I have just a touch of the OCD, so that Q comes in handy. So now I'm going to just move all this up to make more room for later. Box select everything and hit C on the keyboard to make a comment box. And I'm just going to call it initialization. You can call it whatever you like, or you don't even have to do it. I just OCD makes me always want to just be able to box things up, move them around, keep it organized. So back in the base state, where we've got our base locomotion set up, we want to drag out that speed variable. Then we'll compile, we'll drag it, hook it up, compile, and now when the character moves in the world, she does nothing because now we have to hook the animation to her blueprint. That's right. Get there faster, CJ. Alright, so back in the player blueprint, you'll highlight the mesh, and over in the details panel under animation, you'll see the animation mode says use the animation blueprint, but the anim class is empty. So we'll click that little drop down and hook up the player anim BP that we just set up. And now you'll see she moves around. But she moves a little bit too fast, and she moves kinda clunky. Like she just snaps to those animations, and I don't particularly like that. So let's fix that. So back in the player blueprint, we're going to highlight the character movement component. This is basically, it handles all the the gravity settings, the movement, falling, everything to do with movement, it'd be here. So for under the character movement, the general settings, the max acceleration, this is how fast your character goes from idle to full speed. So I'm going to set this. What I've found works really well is 768. And underneath that is the braking friction factor. This is how fast she'll go back to moving, to not moving, I guess I should say. So at 2, she just basically instant stops. Like hitting a wall, bam, she's done. So I'm going to set that to about 0.75. Anywhere between 0.5, 0.75 is pretty good. I've noticed that if I put it at 1, she still stops almost instantly. I like a little bit of a, like if you see a person running, they're not just gonna stop. They're gonna kind of jog to a stop. This kind of allows that. But now under the character movement walking, we need to adjust her walk speed, because if you remember when I set up the blend space, I said she was only going to be able to move 450. So max walk speed is where we adjust that. Let's slow her down just a little bit. The last thing I'm going to do is find the braking deceleration. This is just basically goes hand in hand with the braking friction. I'm just going to set that, I'm just going to empty that out to 0. Now once I compile that, I will come back out here and save, and then you'll see she kind of a little bit smoother start and a little bit smoother finish. And she runs a little bit, it's more, it's a little bit, looks a little bit better. So what we can do to kind of clean it up just a little bit more is back in that base locomotion blend space, over here under the axis settings, you'll see right here there's an interpolation time for input. So let me drag this out a little bit. So this interpolation time is basically how quickly it will switch from the animations based on that speed variable. So if you want it to be just a little bit smoother, let's set that interpolation time to, it doesn't have to be very high, something like 0.1 is pretty good. So let's maybe 0.2. That's not bad. It'll work for now. But one thing we need to do now is, if she jumps, you'll notice she ain't jumping. She just running in the air. Let's fix that real quick. That's a pretty quick fix. So in the player animation blueprint, right here where we've set the base locomotion blend space, we're going to drag off here and do a blend pose by bool. Now a bool is basically a yes or a no in, computer speak, booleans. So what we're going to check is over in the event graph, I'm going to copy where we cast to the player. You might wonder, well, why did we set this if we're going to need to cast to the player again? But with the update animation, if you try to use this player reference thing, it just doesn't seem to work very well. It's because all of these fire at the same time, so it won't register very well. Something that we're doing off of this one. So we're going to have to copy that and paste so that it casts correctly every time. This player reference is going to be for animation notifies later on, like when we swing the weapon, it'll tell it when to actually fire the trace to see if we're hitting something, so that's what that's for. But off of our second cast to player blueprint, off of the as player, we don't need to promote it to a variable this time, but what we do need to do is find out, is the character falling? So you type in falling, you'll get this is falling. This will automatically drag out your character movement component to see if that capsule component is on the ground or not. And if it's not, then it registers that it's falling. So we'll drag off and promote that to a variable called jumping. We'll hook that just like that. Compile. And you'll notice she went back to the T-pose, but that's because I don't have anything right here. So right now it's registering as false, which isn't hooked to anything. But what it's going to be hooked to is this falling looping animation. So I'm going to drag out that boolean we just created and hook it to the active value, and then when I compile, you'll see she's jumping. She shouldn't be jumping. It's already default. Oh. Well, okay. I'm an idiot. So we wanna undo these and swap them out. Because if falling is true, then we want that to play, and if not, then we want her to be walking on the ground. So, alright, so now back out here, we'll save one more time, because like I said, we're going to be saving a lot. Just in case the engine crashes, we don't lose too much. So now, when we're back out here, we click play, and we jump, she jumps. Yeah. So that's looking pretty good so far. It's very dark. I don't like that it's so dark. I'm going to fix that real quick. So over in the world outliner, this basically is every single thing that exists in the level can be found right here. So right now you'll see if I click that, it goes to here. There's the atmospheric fog thingy. Just everything that you've put in the level you can find here. So I'm going to find the skylight, and I'm going to set the intensity to about 5. 5 might be too much. Play with it for whatever you like. I'm going to set it to about 5 is good for me, just so y'all can see a little bit clearer, hopefully. So yeah, now with that all done, I'm going to save one more time, and then she is running. That's awful bright. It'll be fine though. I don't want to give y'all glare. That'll be alright. I'm going to save one more time. Check how long this video gone. And that's all we'll do for this one. And the next one we'll start setting up all the player stats, like her health, magic, level, experience, all that kind of stuff. That way when we get into the menu and the HUD and all that, it's already set up and established. So, see you in the next one. Bye.